Hi people, good to see you. I appreciate the quality of this video isn't very good, but we're in the middle of a storm really, so the light is terrible and we've got, so you're not going to see Zed. Just got me, so you can click off now if you like. I thought I'd just do a quick video on food intolerances in dogs, because they do seem to be becoming a more frequent thing. And it's turned out that Zed has a food intolerance to this. It's so specific, it's really odd. As you all know, she's raw fed, but it has turned out that she's got an intolerance to free range birds. That's chicken, duck, pheasant, you know, down the line. So she can't have that. It's as simple as that. She has to have standard chicken. But the weird thing is she can have wild rabbit. Now you can't get more free range than wild rabbit, but it is purely just birds. Now, I became aware that she had an intolerance, and this is why it's so important, as German Shepherd Man has said, that we watch what comes out the back end of our dogs. Now, look, you've got to pick it up anyway. Don't be walking past it. I don't care if it's raining. Pick it up, people, please. You know, it's just please pick it up, all right? Now, obviously, because I've got to pick up every pup that Zed does, if there's anything wrong with it, I'm going to notice. And I was noticing a lot of mucus, and I thought, So we ruled out Giardia. Okay, please, if you've got mucus if your dog's got mucus in its poo, first take it to the vet and rule out Giardia. And colitis, okay, ulcerative colitis, stress-related colitis, any of that. Please rule all of that out with the vet. After that, you're looking probably at a food intolerance, as I was with Zed. Now, all you can do is go back to something you know 100% they'll be okay on. So with Zed, that was standard chicken, and that's raw chicken carcasses that have been put through a grinder, and you know, that's bone, ligaments, cartilage, everything, meat, fat, everything. And you know, I popped her on that, and then I thought, right, we'll try duck. Immediately, that's chicken with 20% of duck. So it's 80-20 ratio. Immediately we had mucus. So I thought, right, not duck. I then tried her on a bit of chicken and pheasant mucus, so she can't have pheasant. Then I tried her on free range duck, that free range chicken, beg your pardon, mucus. So she can't have any free range bird, yet she can have wild rabbit, she can have venison, she can have lamb and fish, oily fish. I don't ever feed salmon because of salmon poisoning disease, okay? You know, I mean, I know that where I buy my food from, everything is frozen to a ridiculously low temperature, so there's no chance of any kind of bug or anything. But please remember that a high percentage of dogs and cats carry salmonella as part of their natural gut flora. And anyway, so, you know, I don't know why people worry about any of that. I really don't. But, you know, if you don't feed raw, you know, people, I think, get the idea that feeding raw, I mean, there's three main raw diets. There's the BAF diet, which is biologically appropriate raw food. There's the RMB, which is raw meaty bones, which is probably what Zed has. And there's the prey model diet. I mean, Zed, the only full bone meal that I give Zed now is lamb ribs, or as I call it, lammy ribs. And I hold on because of what happened with the choking. You know, Zed is a greedy dog. She is absolutely convinced she's starving, and she's not. And yes, I do use wormers, and I just use Drontal, and once about every 3 months, and she's never had worms, except not while she's been with me anyway. And you know, I do use I use Bob Martin Clear Spot On if I don't think there's any risk of lungworm. Now, the only way to avoid lungworm is to ensure that, one, you don't leave any toys in the garden ever, because lungworm comes from snails and slugs, and it's in their slime. So, you know, if you leave a ball out in the garden and a snail or slug goes over it, and your dog puts it in the mouth, the little legs for the lungworm could be in the slime. So, you know, I personally don't leave any toys outside whatsoever. Her footballs and everything I put into the shed every single time, okay? And I do not allow her to eat grass. I mean, she had pica or pica, depending on how you want to pronounce that, as a puppy, and she had it severely to the point where she would eat absolutely everything, stones, everything, you know, and that had to be dealt with in a very firm way, because I am very strong with dogs on health and welfare issues, okay? You know, if anything is going to risk the life of a dog, I don't really think it matters how you do it, as long as it's humane, and not overly cruel. Well, it shouldn't be cruel at all, but it should be done correctly. So yeah, you know, if it's not normal for mucus to be in your dog's poo whatsoever, and you should be looking and checking it every day, every time you pick it up. Be your dog goes twice a day or 4 times a day, you should be picking it up after every meal. I know that Zed wants to poop, and I am, as she's going, I've got the black bag on my hand, and I'm like, right, I'm ready to pick it up. You know, it doesn't matter if it is pouring down with rain on my head. I do not care. I am still going to pick that pup up, and I will check it. You know, because she's raw fed, it should be nice and firm, and especially after she's had lammy ribs. That makes me sound like a real stupid person, but that's what I call them. Once it's in the bag, and I put my fist around it, and it's like sand. It's like sand because it's a high bone content meal. But you know, with nice hard puppies, it helps clear out the anal glands, so sometimes it will be a bit smelly, but you know, that's life. But you know, there shouldn't be any mucus in your dog's poo. If there is, you do need to rule out Giardia first and foremost, because I think that's one of the most common things. Please remember that Giardia is in puddles, so don't let your dog drink out of puddles. You know, birds poop, that's where most of it comes from, is birds poop. So, you know, birds fly around pooping all over the place, so stagnant, you know, puddles that have been right there a couple of days, they're going to have washed in, pooped in and everything, so please don't let your dogs drink out of puddles. You know, it's as simple as that. Don't let your dogs eat any grass. I know it's kind of a natural thing for dogs to do, but you know, I'm not sure which countries have got lungworm. We don't have heartworm over here unless it's an imported dog, but we do have a lungworm problem, and dogs die of lungworm, obviously. So you know, you need to be very aware. Please be aware. If your dog's eating grass, it's usually because it wants to vomit or it's constipated. There is always a reason for a dog eating grass. Now, where Zedley has Door West Keeper's Mix, that it's got kelp seaweed in it. It's got clivers, which is a form of grass. It's also got nettles, which has an anti-inflammatory. There's so many medical benefits with nettles. Yet the irony of all of this is, I showed her a nettle bush the other day and said, look, you can chew on that, because she likes sugar snap peas, she likes a bit of cabbage, she loves her vegetables, said, raw, obviously, and she sniffed it and went like that. It was like, no. So she's not going to be snacking on nettles as she walks past, but she does get a scoop of Door West Keeper's Mix in all her meals, and I highly recommend it. Door West is a UK based company, and they have a herbal remedy for just about everything, and they have a phone number and a vet, so you can actually ring people, put them up and talk to them, and they're really very helpful people. You know, I've only ever had to write, you know, out of all the Google reviews I've done on companies, I've only ever had to do one negative one, and that was over the PC repair. What repair? The damage they did to my PC, okay? I mean, I've had to turn off the touch screen because it was a touch screen, but my cursor was stuck up in the corner and it just wouldn't move because of the pressure of the crack. So I managed to get into all the settings and turn it off, which they told me they'd done. Another lie. I hate lies. I absolutely hate lies, people. Anyway, that's it. Please look out for mucus in your dog's poo. First rule is rule out Giardia. After that, you need to make sure there's, you know, you can get stress colitis, and a dog will literally squat and put pure mucus, and that is a stress colital reaction. And a dog that has that kind of stress reaction, you really need to be careful with. You know, I mean, YY had terrible stress related colitis, and you know, please try and avoid non-steroid anti-inflammatory drugs if you can. You know, if we're giving them, you know, there's a lot that, like naproxen or anything like that, we're giving a metrazole. They don't do that with dogs. I'd love to know why they don't, because it's going to destroy the gut lining and, you know, stomach lining, and it's got to be the same for dogs. So Please take care of your dogs, and remember, it's just as important what goes in the front and what comes out the back. You know, it's a real indicator on your dog's health. Okay, so take care of your doggies. And even in this horrible wet weather, you know, we spent an hour on the field training with sideways rain. She hates the rain, I hate the rain, but we had a good training session and we had a good game. So, you know, I just get out there, even if it's raining or snowing or whatever. They've still got to go out, people. Okay, don't think just popping them in the yard is good enough. It's not. Okay, stay well, people. Bye.